What's up, YouTube? So on First Take, they are discussing Cam Newton. So he's having shoulder surgery. He's expected to. There are really no expectations on him right now. They don't know when he'll be back. Plus, he missed the last 2 games of last year. So nobody is really quite too sure on his status. So First Take is going to talk about that, and let's just see what they have to say about Cam.
Should the Panthers draft a quarterback?
If they can, sure. I'm not trying to say just draft a quarterback to be drafted a quarterback, but if there's somebody available that you think can get the job done, I mean, I don't know if they're going to have
I
don't know. If I could, yes. If I could move up to get a Kyler Murray, if I could move up and get a Justin Herbert out of Oregon.
I don't know about that. We may not know about the status of Cam Newton right now, but Cam Newton is a well-proven veteran quarterback. We know he can get to the Super Bowl. We know he can go undefeated. I mean, we know he's an all-around great player. And he's not quite old enough. He's like in his prime or creeping up in his prime. So he's not an old quarterback. And he's a beast on the field. What is he like, 6'6", 250, 260? And good quarterbacks are hard to find. They're very hard to find. I mean, that's why a lot of these quarterbacks stay around. Look at Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you have all these good quarterbacks that it's hard to replace these guys. It's very hard to replace these guys. So let's see what else they have to say.
I would definitely do it. I just think that, listen, Cam Newton is the face of the franchise. I think we have to take something into account here. Cam Newton not just has struggled to throw the football accurately, even though he completed 67% of his passes this year, which was a career high for him. Prior to that, in the 7 seasons that he's played in the National Football League, he's never completed better than 60% of his passes. And even that was only on 2 occasions. So he's been, hovering in the 50s. So we got to take that into consideration. Why has Cam Newton been a stud? Why is he a former league MVP? Why did the players vote him as the best player in football at one time? Because of the athleticism, the playmaking ability, his ability to run with the football, not just throw it, etc., etc. I'm saying because of that, you look what you subjected him to. This is a man that's been sacked about 285 times in his career. You know that means he's been hit about at least another 300 to 400 times. We're not.
So as far as Cam Newton taking a lot of hits, some of that has to go to blame to his offensive line not protecting him. But another good part of it would be, Cam Newton runs. He's not afraid to run the ball. He's a monster. He's like I said, 6'6", 250, 260. He's going to run the ball if he sees an opportunity to. One thing he needs to cut back on is taking those hits. Those hits are eventually going to add up, and they are adding up. So I think from here on out, Cam Newton should probably act like an older running back. Only go for, the extra yard or 2 if you can get it, if it's open and clear. If not, go ahead and slide. There's no shame in sliding. Don't risk, an extra yard, on 2nd and 8, when there's really no need to. Go down. I know you want to get all the yards you can get and you're supposed to do everything, but it's better for you to preserve your body so you can do other things in a game than, get an extra 2 yards, but get your collarbone broke. So let's see what else they have to say.
I actually have that for you, 1,221 times he's been hit, most in the NFL.
Well, the reason why I was going to go there, Molly, is because the 285 sacks, you double that in terms of the hits as a quarterback, and then you look at him running the football. Yeah, but he subjected himself to so much. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that you will be able to rely on him, Will, the way you once did. Let me just add one thing quick. Because age and attrition have kicked in.
You mentioned Kyler Murray. Herbert is actually going back to Oregon, which was big news for the draft.
So all these hits, all these sacks, and yet until fairly recently, meaning this injury here, fairly injury-free, been able to take most of these hits. Yeah. The kind of quarterback who's big enough, strong enough to deal with the sacks and hits that most of the time we say a quarterback shouldn't be taking in the NFL. Here's what I'm telling you. That's insane. The Panthers draft a quarterback? No way. 2 reasons. First, let me say, I like the idea generally of drafting a quarterback. I believe if you have an average quarterback that you are paying at a high level, you should draft underneath him and compete.
Remind the audience that you were the advocate of the Browns drafting a quarterback with the 1st and the 4th overall pick. I thought they both need to draft 2 quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Which I thought was insane. saying.
Because two things. You want to hit on your quarterback. That's how important it is, and you don't know in the draft if you're going to hit on just one pick. But here's what I'm telling you. Two reasons the Panthers can't do this. Cam Newton's not an average quarterback. You know, I've had arguments before about whether or not he's a great quarterback, and I've argued the opposite on that he's not a top-tier quarterback. But he's also not average, okay? So you're not looking to replace this guy. He is what he doesn't give you with his arm, and by the way, he's approaching above 60% in passing now, he gives you with his legs, and he can survive it. But the second is this. Has Cam Newton showed you the history, the ability to deal with criticism well? Has he shown the ability to deal with failure well? This is one of the things we've learned about Cam.
He's had rough patches in the past. He's gotten better, though.
Cam Newton has showed, look, we're being real here. He showed some sensitivity to...
So there is no doubt that Cam Newton is very sensitive. I mean, it's all fun and dandy when things are going his way and he's winning. He's just dappering all over the place, smiling, cheesing, you know, doing all types of stuff. But when things start getting bad, it's, I don't want to talk to you guys, and he starts pouting, and you know, I don't want to go to press conferences, and I don't want to sign autographs and all this other garbage. But I can separate the two. His off-field antics of, you know, pouting, acting like a baby, not wanting to talk to the media jackals, all of that. I separate that from what can he do on the field, because I can deal with the other stuff. Now, if he's not throwing a ball as well, if he's forgetting plays, he just can't get the ball out, he just can't run anymore, he just can't do what he needs to do on the field, then I say, okay, you know what, spot time, we need to start looking for another quarterback. You know, Cam Newton's time's winding down. But the only complaint is that he's a crybaby. He pouts a lot. That's not quite enough, because he was doing that during his Super Bowl run. Well, actually, they ran a table, so we never got a chance to really see him pout like a baby, but we damn sure did afterwards. But let's see what else they have to say.
Negative spotlight. Do you believe the Panthers bringing in a quarterback would actually help Cam Newton to draft underneath him? That would be a good thing for Cam Newton? No
I'll address
way.
that in a minute. Go ahead.
I don't think they should draft a quarterback. I think more so maybe go into free agency and go sign a quarterback. But to draft a quarterback, particularly in the first round, I don't think they need to go that route. Cam Newton has been very durable, been a very durable quarterback in the face of all the beating that Cam Newton has taken. I mean, listen, the way that the Carolina Panthers have designed their offense, kind of like that gimmicky stuff that they were doing at Auburn, was subjecting Cam Newton to all these hits. He's still been on the field. Last year was the first time that we've really seen Cam Newton been really injured, and we're talking about his shoulder. I think that Cam Newton, 30 years old, having his surgery, rehab. I don't think he's in a similar situation as Andrew Luck, who missed a whole season. I don't think he's in
I get all that, but right now the only quarterback on the roster is Kyle Allen.
Well, see, and this is where I'm going, and this is the part that I think that y'all are missing. Cam Newton gets hit by T.J. Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers the Thursday night game. They got blown out by Pittsburgh 52-21. That's where he sustained a real shoulder injury, and he hasn't been the same since that time. He tried to play through it. Fine. He has the athleticism, the intestinal fortitude, the strength, etc., to work through it and try to be a contributor. But the reality is that usually there's not an incremental decline per se that takes place. Sometimes you just drop off because again, I don't mean the clip. No, that was nonsense. What Max said. You know how I feel about the clip argument. But I'm just talking about when you've gotten beaten. Years ago, Cam might have taken the same hit and might have reacted entirely differently than he did right now. So I'm not advocating drafting a quarterback and ignoring other needs. What I'm saying is you have to take into account the question and whether or not it's legitimate that Cam Newton may be a bit compromised physically. He may not be what he used to be in terms of relying on him in regards to his durability. I think that's a huge question for the Carolina Panthers.
So let me ask you a question. Would you use a first-round pick to draft a quarterback for the Carolina Panthers?
He just said Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray.
And here's another reason why I say I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't either.
If you look at Ron Rivera was on the hot seat this year.
Yeah.
If you look at made all the changes that, different coaches on the coaching staff, usually that is the kind of the start of, okay, now we've changed coaches on the coaching staff, you're up next. So if you're Ron Rivera, would you really invest a first-round pick that probably wouldn't help in a quarterback that probably wouldn't help your team this year if you're on the hot seat?
No, I wouldn't either, but Damien, the only thing is just...
So I kind of wish Marley would just shut up. Let the men talk. You're there to moderate. All right? No one cares about your opinion. Molly, shut up.
Is next season a wash? And people are like, oh, Cam's turning 30. I look at it as Cam's still 29.
Everything about the Carolina Panthers' success is predicated on what Cam Newton does for them at the quarterback position. So my point is that clearly in your system, Ron Rivera, the quarterback is everything. Even with Christian McCaffrey, he's catching passes out of the backfield more than he's making noise running. Funches and those boys, no matter how good they are, people think they would have been better if they were with a more accurate quarterback. I'm saying the quarterback position is pivotal for the Carolina Panthers.
Real quick.
And I would secure that.
Real quick. You're telling me the Carolina Panthers draft Kyler Murray in the first round. Cam Newton's going to respond well to that?
I think that Cam Newton is a competitor.